If a woman ever looks you in the eye and says, I need space, you need to understand what that really means. Most men hear those words and immediately go into panic mode. They start asking, what did I do wrong? How can I fix this? How much space do you need? They think it's an invitation to try harder, but it's not. It's a warning sign. When she says she needs space, it's rarely about space. It's about distance, emotional distance. And emotional distance is always the first step before she walks away completely. Think about it. When a woman is truly invested in you, when she respects you, when she desires you, she doesn't want space. She wants closeness. She wants your time, your energy, your leadership. The last thing she's going to ask for is separation. But when she says she needs space, what she's really saying is, I don't feel the same anymore. What she's really saying is, my attraction is gone, and I need to create a gap between us so I can slowly detach. Most men ignore this. They start convincing themselves it's temporary. They tell themselves, if I just wait patiently, she'll come back stronger. But here's the truth you don't want to hear. Women don't come back stronger from space. They drift further away. And in many cases, the real reason she wants that space is because someone else is already taking up the energy you used to provide. Another man has her attention, whether she admits it or not. You see, women rarely leave directly. They create excuses, they soften the exit, they leave breadcrumbs to make themselves feel less guilty when they finally walk away. And I need space is one of the most common breadcrumbs. She's not giving you a chance to fix things. She's giving herself a cushion to fall back on when she moves on. If you value yourself, you won't wait around. You won't negotiate with distance, because the second you accept I need space, you're communicating that your time, your love, and your standards are negotiable. You're saying it's okay for you to deprioritize me. And once you show a woman that she can deprioritize you, the relationship is already over. So when she says she needs space, don't beg, don't plead, don't sit around hoping she'll change her mind. Take it for what it really is. She's already halfway out the door. And if you're the kind of man who respects himself, you won't stand in the doorway waiting for her to walk back in. You'll close it and you'll move forward. Because the man who respects himself enough to walk away is the man who will always command respect from everyone else. When a woman looks at you and says, you're too good for me, you have to understand that this isn't a compliment. Most men hear those words and their heart melts. They think she's being sweet, that she's admitting she's not perfect, that she's being humble. But that's not what's happening. What she's really doing is giving you a gentle exit. It's a soft breakup line. It's her way of saying, I don't see myself with you long term, but I don't want to feel like the bad guy for leaving. If a woman truly believes you're too good for her, she will fight to keep you. She will rise to your standards. She will level up. She will match your energy. She won't say it as an excuse. She'll prove it with her actions. But when she says it as a statement, what she's really telling you is that she doesn't feel enough attraction and she doesn't want to invest any deeper. It's guilt disguised as flattery. Here's the mistake men make. They start reassuring her. They say, no, you're amazing. You're perfect for me. Don't put yourself down. They try to talk her back into the relationship. But the moment you do that, you fall right into her frame. She's pulling away and you're chasing. She's stepping back and you're stepping forward. And in that moment, the polarity is dead. Respect is gone. Attraction is gone. You have to realize words like this don't come out of a woman's mouth when she's fully invested. A woman in love isn't telling you you're too good for her. She's doing everything in her power to prove that she's good enough to keep you. So when she says this, don't ignore it, don't romanticize it, and don't beg. Recognize it for what it is. Her way of saying she's on her way out. And if you respect yourself, you'll let her go. Because the second you accept this line, the second you choose to stay when she's already mentally leaving, you've given away your frame. And once your frame is gone, the relationship is finished. When a woman says, "You're too good for me," don't hear it as love, hear it as goodbye. When a woman tells you, "I don't know what I want right now," you need to take that statement for exactly what it is. Most men hear those words and think, "She's just confused, she's stressed. Maybe if I give her time, she'll figure it out." They convince themselves that if they stick around, things will go back to normal. But let's be real. Women know what they want. They always know. And when she says she doesn't, what she's really saying is, "I don't want you the way you want me." Think about it. If she truly wanted you, there wouldn't be confusion. Desire is clear. Interest is obvious. When a woman is fully invested, she doesn't hesitate. She doesn't need to sit around and weigh her options. She makes time for you. She prioritizes you. She chooses you without second guessing. So when she suddenly says she doesn't know what she wants, what she's actually doing is stalling. She's buying herself time to slowly detach, or worse, she's keeping you around while she looks for something else. Here's the trap most men fall into. They accept this uncertainty as temporary. They think if they're patient, supportive, and available, she'll eventually realize that they're the right choice. But all that does is put you in the position of a backup plan. You become the safety net, and no man should ever accept being a woman's safety net. You have to understand, indecision is a decision. If she's unsure about you, that's her answer. If she can't look at you and say, "I want to be with you, I choose you," then she's already halfway gone. A woman who's truly attracted doesn't need time to figure it out. She knows, and she makes it known through her actions. The second you hear this line, you have a choice. You can wait around, hoping she changes her mind, or you can respect yourself enough to walk away. And the man who walks away is the one who keeps his value. Because the man who accepts confusion will always be treated like an option. So when she tells you she doesn't know what she wants, understand this. She does. And it's not you. The best thing you can do is leave before she makes it even clearer. When a woman tells you we should just be friends, you need to recognize that this is the final downgrade. Most men hear those words and think there's still a chance. They convince themselves that if they stay close, if they remain available, maybe one day she'll change her mind. But the moment she says this, the romantic frame is gone forever. Attraction doesn't live in the friend zone. Once she puts you there, you don't climb back out. Here's why this happens. At some point, she stopped viewing you as the man she's drawn to and started seeing you as a man she can rely on without desire. That's not love. That's convenience. She may enjoy your attention, your support, the comfort of knowing you're there, but understand this. Women do not sleep with their friends. They don't respect their friends as leaders. They don't crave their friends. They simply keep them around for validation and backup. The mistake men make is accepting this downgrade as if it's some kind of compliment. They think, at least she still wants me in her life. But that mindset destroys your value. If she truly respected you, if she truly desired you, she wouldn't be offering friendship. She'd be fighting to keep the relationship alive. And once you agree to be her friend, you've surrendered your frame. You've told her, it's okay if you strip away my role as a man in your life. I'll settle for scraps. That is not what a man with self-respect does. A man with standards doesn't allow himself to be downgraded into the friend zone. You have to understand, when she says we should just be friends, she's making it clear that her attraction is gone. And the worst thing you can do is try to prove her wrong by sticking around. That only confirms her decision. The right move is simple. Don't accept the downgrade. Don't agree to her terms. Walk away with your dignity intact, because the man who refuses to be a woman's friend after she's rejected him is the man who commands respect, while the man who stays gets drained of it. When she offers you friendship in place of love, you don't take the offer, you take your leave. When a woman keeps bringing up her ex and says things like, my ex used to, you need to understand the weight behind those words. A lot of men brush it off thinking it's harmless, just a story from her past, but it's not harmless at all. Every time she compares you to another man, what she's really doing is telling you that her heart is still somewhere else. Her emotions, her memories, and possibly even her desire are still tied to that relationship. A woman who is fully invested in you does not keep her past alive in conversations. She doesn't bring another man into the picture. She doesn't reminisce about what he did, how he treated her, or what they shared together. If she does, it's a clear sign she hasn't fully moved on. And if she hasn't fully moved on, that means you're not getting all of her. You're sharing space in her mind and her heart with someone who shouldn't even be there anymore. Most men make the mistake of ignoring this. They think if they just love her harder, prove themselves more, or wait long enough, she'll eventually forget the ex and give them her full attention. But here's the truth. If she's still talking about her ex, it's because she hasn't let him go. And you can't compete with a ghost. You can't fight for her respect or her love while she's still measuring you against another man. The moment you allow her to keep comparing you, you set yourself up to fail. You're letting her dictate the frame of the relationship, and you're putting yourself in second place without even realizing it. A man who values himself doesn't tolerate being compared. He doesn't accept being someone's rebound, someone's distraction, or someone's second choice. If she's constantly bringing up her ex, that's not something you work through. It's a signal that she's not ready for you, and maybe she never will be. And the worst thing you can do is stay, hoping time will change it. Time doesn't heal attraction. It doesn't erase comparisons. It only makes you more frustrated and her more certain that she doesn't see you the same way she saw him. So when a woman says, my ex used to, and she keeps that man alive in your relationship, don't ignore it, don't compete with it, and don't tolerate it. Respect yourself enough to leave, because the man who values himself will never allow himself to be a replacement. Respect yourself more than you respect her excuses. This is one of the hardest truths most men never learn. The moment a woman starts giving you lines like, I need space, you're too good for me, I don't know what I want, or let's just be friends, she's telling you something about her investment in the relationship. And instead of seeing it for what it is, too many men choose to believe her excuses. They cling to her words instead of her actions. They say, she just needs time, she's going through something, I'll wait it out. But what they're really doing is lowering their standards and betraying themselves. The truth is, the second you put her excuses above your self-respect, you've already lost. Because what you're really saying is, my value depends on how much she chooses me, even if she disrespects me in the process. And once you operate from that frame, you stop being a man she can respect. You become a man she can walk all over. Here's what you need to understand. Women test boundaries constantly. They want to know where your line is, where your breaking point is, where your self-respect kicks in. If she can throw out an excuse and you accept it, she knows she can push further. If she tells you she's unsure and you stay, she learns that she can keep you in limbo without consequences. If she says she needs space and you wait around, she sees that your time means nothing to you. And if it means nothing to you, it will mean nothing to her. Respect is not given, it's demanded through action. And the fastest way to demand it is to show that you respect yourself above everything else. That means when you hear these excuses, you don't rationalize them, you don't try to negotiate with them, and you don't stick around hoping they'll disappear. You recognize them for what they are, signals that she doesn't value you the way she should. And when a woman doesn't value you, the right response isn't to fight for her, it's to leave. Because a man who respects himself never tolerates disrespect disguised as confusion or excuses. He doesn't compromise his standards to keep someone in his life who's already halfway gone. The moment you put your self-respect first, something shifts. You stop clinging to the wrong women. You stop wasting time on relationships that drain you. And you start building the life and the frame that the right woman will never risk losing. So when excuses show up, don't bend, don't wait, and don't chase. Walk away. Because if you don't respect yourself, no one else ever will. A woman who truly values you will not risk losing you. That's the truth most men overlook. When a woman sees you as a man of value, when she knows you're rare, when she respects what you bring to the table, the last thing she will ever do is gamble with the relationship. She will not say things like, I need space, or I don't know what I want. She will not push you away to test if you'll chase harder. Instead, she will hold on tighter because she knows she has something other women would fight to have. But here's where most men go wrong. They confuse excuses with commitment. They think if a woman says, I'm just confused right now, or I don't know if I'm ready, that it means she still cares. They hang on to those little scraps of hope, not realizing that a woman who actually values you doesn't operate in uncertainty. She doesn't take the chance of losing a man she sees as high value. The way a woman treats you is the biggest reflection of how she feels about you. If she's constantly pushing you away, asking for breaks, talking about other men, or comparing you to her ex, she's showing you that she's willing to risk your presence in her life. And if she's willing to risk losing you, it's because deep down, she doesn't see your value clearly enough. Think about it this way. When a man is disciplined, focused, and driven, he doesn't risk his mission. He doesn't gamble with his purpose. The same goes for women in relationships. When they truly value a man, they don't play games with him. They invest, they commit, they nurture, they protect the bond. If she's not doing that with you, she doesn't see you as the man she can't afford to lose. That's why your job as a man is never to convince her. It's not to prove your worth through begging, chasing, or waiting around. Your job is to hold your frame, to recognize when her actions don't align with her words, and to respect yourself enough to walk away when she shows you she's willing to risk it all. Because the reality is, the right woman doesn't gamble with you. She guards you, she values you, she chooses you without hesitation. If she's not doing that, then she's already telling you everything you need to know. So don't waste time trying to make her see your value. Find the one who already does. Leaving is not weakness, it's strength. Too many men have been conditioned to think that if they walk away from a woman, it means they've failed. They tell themselves, if I just stick it out, if I just keep proving myself, if I just love her enough, maybe she'll finally realize I'm the one. That's not strength. That's desperation. Real strength is knowing when a situation no longer serves you, no longer respects you, and having the discipline to remove yourself from it. When a woman tells you things like, I need space, I don't know what I want, or we should just be friends, she's already communicating that she's not fully invested. And instead of taking her word seriously, men convince themselves that staying shows loyalty. But what it really shows is a lack of self-respect. Loyalty doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. Loyalty doesn't mean sticking around while she pulls away. Walking away isn't about giving up. It's about protecting your value. It's about showing that your time, your energy, and your presence are not cheap. When you leave, you're saying, I know who I am, I know what I bring, and I won't settle for less than the respect I deserve. That's not weakness, that's power. Women actually respect men who have the courage to walk away more than the ones who cling. Because a man who clings communicates that he has no options, no abundance, no backbone. A man who walks away communicates that he's in control, that his standards are unshakable, and that his life is bigger than any single relationship. Think about it. What kind of man do you want to be remembered as? The man who begged, waited, and hoped? Or the man who stood firm, kept his dignity, and refused to compromise his standards? One of those men loses respect forever. The other commands it everywhere he goes. So don't ever confuse leaving with weakness. Weakness is staying where you're not respected. Strength is walking away with your head held high. Time is your most valuable asset, and too many men waste it on women who've already shown they don't value them. Every second you spend waiting for her to make up her mind, every week you spend trying to prove your worth after she's already pulled away, every month you spend chasing her approval, that's time you will never get back. And once it's gone forever. Men don't realize how expensive wasted time really is. You can rebuild money, you can rebuild your body, you can rebuild your career, but you cannot rebuild wasted years with the wrong woman. And the brutal truth is, most men figure this out only after they've lost them. They look back and realize they stayed too long with someone who was never fully invested. They look back and realize the signs were there all along, but they chose to ignore them. When a woman tells you, I don't know what I want, or I need space, or we should just be friends, she's telling you clearly that she's not on the same page. If you stay, you're not just losing her respect, you're losing your own time. Time you could have spent on your mission, time you could have spent building yourself, creating opportunities, living your purpose, meeting women who actually want to be with you. Instead, you drain yourself in a relationship that's already dead. Time with the wrong woman doesn't just hold you back emotionally, it costs you in every area of life. It robs you of focus, it kills your momentum, it eats away at your confidence. That's why respecting your time is one of the highest forms of self-respect a man can have. When you walk away the moment you see the red flags, you're not just saving yourself from heartbreak, you're protecting your future. A man who values his time knows that chasing someone who doesn't want him is the most expensive mistake he can make. Because every hour wasted, there could be an hour invested in becoming the man you're meant to be. And the man who builds himself is the man who never has to beg for love. So don't waste your life waiting on a woman who's already gone. Protect your time like it's gold, because it is. The man who sets boundaries gets respect, and the man who ignores them gets resentment. This is one of the hardest lessons men learn in relationships, but is also one of the most important. Women are naturally drawn to men who stand firm in their standards. They want to know that the man they're with has a backbone, that he won't bend for every excuse, that he knows what he will and will not tolerate. Without that, attraction dies. The moment you allow a woman to test you and you fail to hold the line, you send her a message. Your word means nothing. Your standards mean nothing. And your frame can be broken. And once she learns that, she will push further. She'll test you again and again and again. Not because she hates you, but because that's how women gauge strength. And if you show her weakness, resentment builds. She may not say it out loud, but deep down, she'll lose faith in you. She'll lose trust in your ability to lead. Boundaries are not about controlling her. They're about controlling yourself. They're about making it clear that you respect your time, your energy, and your values too much to compromise them for temporary comfort. If she talks about her ex, if she disrespects you, if she plays games and you accept it, you're teaching her that she can treat you however she wants. But if you walk away the moment she crosses a line, you're teaching her that being in your life comes with standards. And here's the truth. Women respect the men they can't walk all over. They desire the men who won't tolerate disrespect. They stay loyal to the men who make it clear that their value isn't negotiable. That's what boundaries create. Clarity. And clarity builds respect. The man with no boundaries loses her attraction. The man with strong boundaries earns her respect. And in the end, respect is the foundation of every lasting relationship. So never be afraid to set the line and stand by it, because the man who defends his standards will always be the man who wins her respect.